Welcome back to A Drop of Happy with me, Wanda Toby, where we focus on carefree, stress well, light and lively living while reviewing and discussing all things entertainment and wellness. And I really need to find a way to shorten that because that's a mouthful. Anyway, what's on the show? Journal prompt, and we are going to talk about Eyes of Wakanda currently on Disney. I'm actually playing with the format of the show a little bit. I had toyed with doing entertainment tidbits within an episode, but then I realized I just like getting my entertainment in one show. I didn't like splitting up the topics. I don't know, it was weird because I felt like I can talk forever about the little entertainment tidbits. So I'm kind of changing up the format. But in this show, we are going to talk about the stress well slash journal prompt and Eyes of Wakanda. And of course, the prompt always kind of falls thematically with the main topic. So for this journal prompt, stress well tip, however you want to take it, is perseverance. Just the word perseverance. Let that sit with you. What does that mean to you? What does perseverance mean to you? What does it look like? Better yet, think of a time when you persevered. Did you win at the end of that? So the affirmation is just I persevere. And you can write that over and over and over again. If you don't have any thoughts, you don't want to answer the questions, that would be I persevere, because that is a win in itself. Okay. And the quote is, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced, by James Baldwin. Nothing can be changed until it is faced. And that kind of really helps you maybe come up with one definition of perseverance based off that. I'm not going to go into the many definitions. You can do a Google search, but I really just want you to go off the dome, off the top of your mind. What is perseverance to you? What does it look like? And kind of write about that. Is that a success? Have you been successful in persevering? Is there winning at the end of it? There's so many ways that you can take that for your journal prompt and really reflect and think about how it plays in your life, in the past, how it's played, and maybe in the future, how you want it to play out. So that is it. Now, Eyes of Wakanda. Have y'all seen it? Have you watched it? There wasn't a lot of fanfare about it. There wasn't a lot of anything about it, really. I did mention it a few days ago or a week ago or something like that, that it was coming out. And honestly, that was the extent of that. There wasn't really a lot of commercials about it or anything like that. But it's 4 episodes, and I watched them. I can't say I binged them all because I did not. I could have, but I think when I started watching it, there was something going on. So I came back and I watched it. And I just want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed it as a whole, as a full 1, 2, 3, 4 episode installment, whatever you want to call it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the writing. I really liked how it brought back to life like famous characters that we know of, like Achilles, the Trojan War, in episode 3, Iron Fist. Those are kind of like spoilers. Sorry. If you so all right, let me just say. So those are little spoilers. I didn't know anything about it, so it was a kind of a treat that I was watching as I found out. but I encourage you to see it because all together it really brought everything full circle, which is what I really enjoyed. That was like my favorite part. The connecting all the dots of the of it all. I really enjoyed that, and I think that is what made me end up enjoying it even more. It was developed by Ryan Coogler. The episodes are about 30 minutes long or so, give or take. It stars Winnie Harlow, Dana Guerrera as Okoye. Okoye was in there. um, I think she's the chick from Walking Dead. Mind you, I've never seen Walking Dead, so okay. Aniko Noni Rose is was in there, and a few other people. Again, it is currently streaming. I hope this thing is making a lot of noise. It is currently streaming on Disney, and it came out about a couple weeks ago. So, so now is where the real spoilers begin. Episode 1 starts off with, and I have to say that I wasn't crazy about episode 1. It's always like with these Marvel installments that the first episode is not really like, it's not the hook. It's not really get you going. At least that's kind of been my experience with a lot of the television series that I've watched. So episode 1 was okay, in my opinion. Noni, who was like a former Dora Milaje, I guess she was doing some stuff. She got kicked out, but then her mentor or the captain of the Dora Milaje was like, sent her on a mission. Was like, hey, there's this dude out there. We sent him out, and now he's bugging. He's calling himself the Pride of the Lion, and he's basically like, he's saying, oh, I'm really freeing people, but he's really kind of enslaving people and getting them to conform and give up their lives. It's really bad stuff. It's bad stuff. So Noni confronts him, and they get into it. They get into it, and she wins. Barely. Barely. She wins, and then she goes back to Wakanda, and Akea kind of tells her about the war dogs, and she's like, well, that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do. So send me back out there. And that's how that ends. Then this is where I'm just like, oh, okay, this is cute. Episode 2 is the Trojan War, and Bakai, he's infiltrated the Greek army. Basically his mission is to get the whatever. Okay, I guess I skipped that part, which is as important. So now she's like, Noni, in the first episode, she's just like, okay, well, let me help you get all of the vibranium that's out there. So yeah, I want to be a war dog, but specifically, I want to help you get all the vibranium that's out there. So that's that. So then the next episode is Bakai, who is on a mission to really get the vibranium that the Trojans have. Okay, so he does that, but he's good friends with Achilles, and some people are just like, yo, this dude, I don't trust him, whatever. Then when they go to fight, he kind of leaves Achilles hanging, and he goes to fulfill his mission to get the vibranium. And they're usually like as artifacts or stuff like that. So Achilles is just like, yo, you how you left me? Basically, you left me for dead. You left me to fend for myself when you know you're supposed to be having my back. We always fighting together, whatever, whatever. So when he goes and he sees Bakai letting the the story, the girl and the guy, I forget their names. I can't come up with it. But he's letting them go. Helena Troy, Paris and Helena Troy. He's letting them go. And Achilles is just like, whoa. So he's completely thrown off by this, and he's just like, yo, you a traitor, you was working with them all along, blah blah blah. And Bakai tried to explain to him. He's like, nah, I'm really doing the same thing that you're doing, but from my home, for Wakanda. Well, when he said home, Achilles got real pissed off. Achilles got real big mad, and they started fighting. And Achilles wasn't trying to hear him. Like, hurt people, which I cannot say anything about it. Because he just found out everything's emotional, and he's just like, yo, you letting the chick who I think is my girl run away with this dude. Like, this is not a good look. So, and then you said home, like, this is not your home. Achilles was not having it. So they were gonna fight. Achilles is like, I don't care, you betrayed me, you didn't betray whoever, you betrayed me, and I'm not having it. So they fought, and of course, I had said this as soon as I saw Bakai. I was like, oh, he's his Achilles heel. And sure enough, as they were fighting, like, Achilles was not letting up. He slit his Achilles, like that back part, and he's just like, yo, you need to stop getting up. Like, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to whatever. You need to stop getting up. So he thought that was going to do the trick, but it did not. It did not, because that hurt fueled that adrenaline, whatever, because Achilles was just like, oh, we still fighting. And at the end, he ended up killing him, because what happened, Achilles got, it was a necklace, and Achilles was just like, oh, this is what you wanted, this is what you, well, you ain't getting it, you not getting it, I'm keeping it, and that's it, because you know what, we the ones that came and fought up in here, you not getting it. So that's how the fight started. But he got it at the end. And then, so this is a nice little tie-in, because he goes back to Wakanda. The Bakai goes back to Wakanda, and he's talking to Noni, who's now old. So we get it. From this point, it's years later. She spent all this time doing her thing, and now she's taking the place of who was her mentor, sending people out. And he's just like, yo, I know I'm back, but I don't feel at home. I feel awkward, blah blah blah. So they have a little moment and stuff. They still go with, okay, we still have to keep Wakanda from the outsiders. So then it jumps to episode 3, where Asia somewhere, I don't know where. Again, this guy, he is lost, or seems to be lost, or pretending he's lost, and somebody saves him, and then she brings him into her little community and stuff like that, and they seem to like fall in love, and she treats him, and he gets better. His Kunlun Kayun. Oh, I'm saying the name wrong. Okay, we're gonna call him K. And they seemingly like they got a good thing going, but he's on a mission. He's on a mission to get the vibranium, and in this case, he's a little hothead. The vibranium is in a statue. So and he's kind of like in a rush and stuff to get out. So instead of just taking the piece of vibranium, he takes the whole dang gone dragon statue or whatever. And there's a legend that the dragon statue is protected and stuff like that. But he's thinking he got away with it. Well, when he gets to Wakanda, come to find out, he didn't get away with it, because the girl like saw him when he was doing all the thing, doing all the thievery, and was just like, oh no, you're not getting away. And she basically stowed away on his aircraft, and that's how she got into Wakanda. Now, her name is Jurani, and his name is Basha. And the town, I don't, Keyunlun, that's the town. The name I was butchering, that's the town. So anyway, like, so he realizes that somebody or something is there, and it's kind of like following him, and then they kind of start to fight, and then realizes, oh, this person has powers. Guess what? It's the girl. It's Jurani. She goes on to say, hey, I was given powers from the dragon. I'm the Iron Fist, which I thought was really cute. And so they're fighting. And then the guy who's his friend is just like, yo, you always do stuff without thinking and stuff like that. I told you this wasn't a good idea. Like it seemed too easy. And then you over here taking this dragon. You don't even know what the deal is. So he's kind of getting in on him at one point. But then Basha's like, well, yo, we can't defeat her because of her powers or whatever. So we need to figure something out. So she's like, oh, so all you wanted was this thing? And she goes and just boop, pulls it right out of the dragon's mouth. So she can keep the statue. He can take the little thingy thing. And Ibu's just like, yo, that's all you had to do? We could have avoided all this, like, now. And then somebody, the general, the head, whatever, comes in, and they come up with a story. They come up with a story that Ibu was doing some type of test of the security system, whatever. And he falls for it, and they end up sneaking Jurani out. And she's just like, a bet. Let me take the statue. You keep your little whatever. But right before that, once they stopped fighting, they were kind of had a little banter back and forth, and was like, oh, you didn't trust me? Well, you didn't trust me. I was trying to keep an eye on you. Well, I was trying to keep an eye on you. They went a little back and forth, but they really liked each other for real. And he let her go. She let him keep the thing. And that's how that ended. Then here's where everything ties together. So the last episode, and again, I really encourage y'all to watch it. Hopefully, if you're here listening to this, you already watched it, because I already said there was going to be some spoilers up in here. But the last episode is the prince. He's not like the prince in line, but he's he's a brother. So Prince Tafari, who goes to retrieve vibranium with Adwa. So they go, so they're about to leave the vibranium, but Tafari's just like, nah, we can't leave it. Like, we're not supposed to go back empty-handed. And he's trying to build a legacy for himself and a name for himself. So what happens? He steals, he ends up taking the particular vibranium, and he's just like, yo, this doesn't look like anything special. Like, it just looks like an axe or a weapon or something. And Adwa goes, well, the head of that is made of vibranium. And I knew it looked familiar when I was looking at it. I was like, oh, that kind of looked familiar. But I still didn't put two and two together. If I'm being honest, I'm not going to lie. I still didn't put two and two together. So anyway, as they're on their way, Black Panther from the future comes. And she's just like, y'all need to put that back. Y'all need to put that back, because if y'all don't put that back, everything, like, we're done. Because in the future, called the Horde is destroying Wakanda. Like, it's it. They've already destroyed everything else, and they're destroying Wakanda. And the reason why they're destroying Wakanda is because Wakanda has maintained its practice of staying apart and being isolated and not getting into people's affairs. So the nations did not have enough power to stop them. So once they wiped them out, or took over. Then they came for Wakanda, and Wakanda's on the verge. Like, I'm the last Black Panther. It's over. So y'all gotta put this back. So they didn't believe her. They were just like, well, how we know you're the black bat? You're the last. How we know you're from the future, right? How we know you're the last Black Panther and you're from the future, whatever, whatever. She's just like, Adwa was just like, well, tell me something that we would know, or you would know, or something like that. So then she tells them that the queen is pregnant, and the prince Tafari was just like, oh, I believe her because nobody knows that. I'm the only one that knows that. You don't even know that. So yeah, I believe her. So at first Adwa was just like, so then she ends up leaving, like being sucked back into her time. And when she gets to her time, sure enough, the fighting is on. It's on like popcorn. It's ridiculous. And they're just like, yo, we just hoping, praying that worked. And they put the thing back. So Prince Tafari is just like, yo, we got to put it back. So he convinces Adwa that they have to put it back. And on their way to put it back, Adwa gets pinned. And so then he has to put it back himself. Tafari has to put it back himself. And Adwa's just like, no, go. So he does try to help him. He does try to help him get out of that situation. But Adwa's like, no, you got to go put it back. You got to go put it back. So wait. Am I getting... That's not the man's name. The man's name is Kuda. I don't even know where I'm getting Adwa from. Adwa is the place that they're putting the axe back to. Oh Lord, Kuda is the guy's name. Okay, my bad. Adwa is the place that they gotta go. So anyway, so Tafari ends up putting the thing back, and he's just like, Kuda is like, well, how do we even know it works? And Tafari's just like, well, we don't. But how it all ties in, because the last Black Panther, she was just like, listen, you have to put that there. You have to put that thing back, because that allows the Black Panthers to then have themselves involved with the affairs of the outer world. So if you don't put that back, all that doesn't happen, and they stay as being isolated. And come to find out, that is what Killmonger stole from the museum when he was just like, oh, tell me what this is. And the lady, before he gives her some poison or whatever, is trying to tell him, oh, it's an artifact. And he's like, nah, that's from Wakanda, right? So that is how everything pops off, and then it all ties together. And what they were saying was, she's been looking through each time period for that piece of artifact, and finally found it with this last mission, with Tafari's last mission. So they end up going back, and Kuda was just like, man, I know you wanted a legacy or whatever, but nobody's gonna know. And he's fine with it. He's just like, at least he knows, I guess. At least he saved the world. But I love that. I love how everything tied together and kind of brought it back to the original Black Panther, and brought it back to the original story, and kind of like there was like a common thread between all of the shows. So it was really fun to watch. Again, little 30 minutes bit, so it was like nothing. So what do I give it? I mean, actually, I give it a 10. Okay, I give it a 9, because the first episode I was like, I mean, it was good, but I give it a 9.5. Anyway, if you enjoyed the show, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And come on back. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comments or what have you. And remember to live light, stress well, enjoy life, and do the best you can to manage your stress, build your stress management toolkit, and all that good stuff.